Hello and welcome back to Saxon Math. This is lesson 57, adding and subtracting fractions, 3 steps. The 3 steps are SOS. First, you need to put the problem into the correct shape. That's the first S, or form if it's not already in its correct shape or form. When adding or subtracting fractions, the correct form is with common denominators. Step 2 is the operation. So complete the addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. And step 3 is simplify. Reduce the fraction or write an improper fraction as a mixed number. So for example 1, our first thing to do is to consider the shape. And in this case, when we're talking about shape, we're talking about common denominators if you're adding and subtracting fractions. If you're multiplying and dividing, you would just multiply numerators times numerators. If you were dividing, you would have to multiply by the reciprocal. Since we're adding these fractions, the shape that we need to work with is having like denominators. It looks to me like 6 is going to be the one that we're going to choose for both of these because 6 is a common factor between 2 and 3 or a multiple. If I was to list the multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 on to infinity, and the multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12 on to infinity, you can see 6 is the least common multiple of the 2. And if I was to take 2 times 3, I would get to 6. So that means I have to take 1 times 3. And if I was to take 3 times 2, I would get this 6. And if I had to multiply this 1 times 2, I have to multiply this 2 times 2 to get 4. Now that I have the shape, that was the shape the first step, we need to operate, and it's addition. So we simply add the numerators, and the denominators stay the same in addition. So we have 7 in the numerator and 6 in the denominator. And then the third step is the S for simplify. So this needs to be reduced or written as an improper fraction written as a mixed number if it is an improper fraction. This is an improper fraction because it's top heavy. It has 7 in the numerator and 6 in the denominator. So therefore, I would have 7 divided by 6 is what this is. 7 divided by 6, 6 will go into 7 one time. Multiply it. It would be 1 left over. If we were to subtract that. So we have 1 left over. Let me get this. So 7 minus 6. And that's the numerator. And then the 6 becomes the denominator. So 1 and 1/6 would be the answer for that one. Let's look at another example here. So if we were to subtract 5 6 minus 1/3, all you have to do is consider the shape again. So it looks like I'm going to leave 5 6 5 6. I'm going to have something with a denominator of 6 here. So this one would be times 2 to get to 6. So I have to multiply this one times 2. So now I have that. This would be 5 minus 2 in the numerator is 3, and 6 remains the same. This would be reduced to 1/2 because these are both divisible by 3. So 1/2 would be the final answer in that one. Let's try this. Letter A, 1/2 plus 1/6. All right, so I would probably start by rewriting this. It's the same as, I'm going to have a denominator of 6 here because I see that this could be easily changed to 6 by multiplying by 3. This would be 3/6 plus 1/6. That equals 4/6. And then this would have to be reduced because both of these are divisible by 2. So this would be 2 in the numerator and 3 in the denominator. So for letter A, you should have had 2/3. Letter B, 2/3 plus 3/4. Okay, it looks like I'm going to use 12 as a common denominator for both of these. This would be times 4 to get to 12, so this would be 8 twelfths. This would be times 3 to get to 12, so this will be 9 twelfths because 3 times 3 is 9. This would end up being 17 twelfths, and I would recognize that that's the same as 17 divided by 12. 12 will go into 17 one time. There would be 5 left over. That would be the numerator. The denominator would be 12. So we end up with 1 and 5 twelfths for the answer for letter B. Letter C, if you have 1/5 plus 3/10, this one you should recognize that 1/5 needs to be changed to something with a denominator of 10, and 5 times 2 is 10. That means 1 times 2 is 2 plus 3/10. That would equal 5/10, and hopefully you know that 5/10 reduces to 1/2. Letter D, I'll put that right here, 5/6 minus 1/2. This would be the same as 5/6. I'm going to leave that the same. And then this would have a denominator of 6. That's times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. When I work this problem out, I get 5 minus 3, which is 2. 6 stays the same. Recognize that 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the reduced fraction would be 1/3. Letter E, 7/10 minus 1/2. So I'm going to notice that this should stay the same, 7/10, and then this one would be a denominator of 10. That would be multiplying times 5 to get to 10, so this one would have to be times 5 to get to 5. Then this would be 7 minus 5, which is 2. 10 is the denominator. This would be reduced because 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And letter F, 5 twelfths minus 1/6. So I'm going to keep 5 twelfths the same, and I'm going to subtract it with the denominator of 12. That'd be times 2 to get to 12. This one would be times 2, so that'd be 2 twelfths. So that means I have 5 minus 2, which equals 3, and the denominator stays the same. This would end up being 1/4 because 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 1/4 would be the reduced fraction for that. There you go. There's adding and subtracting fractions, the 3 steps that you need to follow to complete that. Remember, it was SOS. Shape, operate, simplify. So remember, the shape was common denominators if you're adding and subtracting fractions. Operation is just adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. And then the final S is the simplify, which means reduce the fraction or write an improper fraction as a mixed number. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.